When an avoidant ex is truly never coming back, their behavior often shows clear signs of detachment. What are those key signs that your avoidant ex is never coming back? Stay tuned and you'll find out. But first, hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back or to get over your ex. And welcome back, my beautiful no contact army. Have you been a good little soldier? Well, if you have, then you've downloaded my app Silencio to help you stay in no contact. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you're new to this channel, please be sure to drop a heart in the comments so that I can personally say hello to you. And welcome to our no contact army. And to read our manual, you can go to nocontactsecrets.com, where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. Okay, so the signs are in no particular order, and as usual, the more signs you see, the more likely it is that they're not coming back. Now, why are avoidants less likely to come back than other attachment styles? So let me just briefly tell you that before I give you the first sign. And that is because avoidants associate relationships with stress and engulfment. So once they're detached, they often, quote unquote, rewrite history to justify leaving. Another reason is fear of regression, and that means that to them, returning means facing the same problems, which terrifies them, the thought of going backwards. And then finally, for avoidance, especially dismissive avoidance, it's out of sight, out of mind. Since they suppress their emotions rather than process them, it's easier to just stay gone. Okay, so let's get on with the signs. The first one is that they ghost you. And I've actually already done a video on this titled The Number One Sign They're Never Coming Back. And that's because they've let the resentment build and they haven't communicated their feelings. And at a certain point, they decide that they've had enough. And meanwhile, you don't even know there's something wrong. But there are always signs and micro expressions. However, unless you've trained yourself to look for them, you'll be like most people who will, like I said, will miss them. And they'll think, hey, everything's okay. And then they're surprised when the ex ghosts them. And I know you'll be asking, well, what signs? Well, there's a million signs that someone's unhappy. So it's not like there's a list I can rattle off. It's the same as asking, well, what are the signs that a first date isn't going well? Again, it could be a million things. It could be something as simple as, let's say you're the woman and you went out to dinner with a guy, and after the date, the two of you are leaving the restaurant, and instead of having you walk in front of him, he walks ahead of you like you're not even with him. So that's a sign that he's not really interested. But again, most people are not going to clock that as a sign of disinterest, okay? So if an avoidant reaches the point where they think there's too much water under the bridge and they need to leave, they may just disappear because they don't want to have a conversation knowing that you'll be trying to talk them out of it. But meanwhile, they've already made up their mind. So if they ghosted rather than doing the slow fade, the chances of them coming back are less. The second sign is that they downplay the relationship and the connection the two of you had. So this is yet another strategy of the avoidant. If they can convince themselves that it didn't really mean anything, then of course it's easier to move on. They don't really have to face their feelings if they can lie to you about how important the relationship was to them. And then they can certainly lie to themselves, and that's exactly what they do. And they do this actually automatically and subconsciously. It's not something that they deliberately think of doing. The next sign is that more than a year has passed since the breakup. By this time, they are well out of the relief stage, unless you continued to reach out to them. and not stay in no contact. So they've had plenty of time to think about everything, and they still haven't reached out. And this usually means they will not be reaching out. The fourth sign is that they have been no contact with no breadcrumbs. It doesn't have to be a year. It could be, 6 months for this sign. So they don't reach out at all. No texts, calls, or social media interactions. And even if you initiate, they may respond minimally or not at all. Avoidants who might return usually leave subtle breadcrumbs, likes, random messages, etc. So total silence suggests they've closed the door. Number 5, they've expressed clear finality. So they've said things like, I'm done for good, we're not right for each other, I don't see a future with you. Avoidants who leave room for possibility tend to be vague. So they'll say, I need space, as opposed to, it's over forever. Now, with this one, keep in mind that sometimes in the heat of the moment, people may say these things of all attachment styles, not just avoidance, but not really mean them. So this one, you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, and you also have to see how many other signs of the ones that I'm mentioning here today they have. So if they have a lot of the signs that I'm talking about, and on top of that they say that it's over for good, then it probably is. Okay, the next sign is that they have removed emotional and physical ties. So they've given you back your things or thrown them away. They've unfollowed or blocked you on social media. They've told mutual friends they're not looking back. Again, they're probably gone for good. The next sign is that they've worked on themselves without you. So if they've gone to therapy, pursued self-improvement, or made big life changes without attempting to reconnect, then very likely they've moved on. Next, you just feel it. Their energy is gone. So even if they haven't said anything, you intuitively feel like they're done for good. And this last one, it may or may not be a sign. Again, it depends on how many other signs there are. And that is that they're dating someone new and they're posting about their new life, or they just genuinely seem happy without you. Avoidants rarely return once they've replaced the relationship emotionally or physically. However, if the person was a rebound, then there's a very good chance that it's not over for good, they're not gone for good, and when it ends, that they may come looking for you. So only time will tell. So when might an avoidant come back? Well, if they're not fully detached, so if they're still watching your stories, sending mixed signals, hot and cold, that's a good sign. If you have changed, so you're not chasing, you're emotionally independent, you're no longer a perceived threat, that's a good sign for them to not be afraid. Or if time has passed and they find themselves still interested, whether it's months or years later when their fear of engulfment has finally faded, that's when they might come back. So what can you do now? Well, I would say that you should assume that they're not coming back. That way you protect your peace. Focus on your healing. Avoidants rarely return unless they see real change. So if they felt that you were the problem, then this step is crucial. And if they do come back, ensure they've done the work. Make sure they're working on their attachment style, or you will repeat the cycle. So if they're showing consistent long-term indifference, they're likely gone for good. And the best move is to detach and invest in yourself. So now I want to hear from you. How many of these signs have you seen from your avoidant ex? And if you are serious about getting your ex back, you can contact me at theartoflove.net/coaching. and we will send you the rates. They're not on the website. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast and you want to help the show, then just download this episode. Thank you for putting up with my with my voice. I'm just getting over being sick. And remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.